My People is proud to present the 40 Days 40 FinTechs, an initiative under its Include Everyone program, which is leading the way in advocating for technology that promotes financial inclusivity. Since 2020, we've profiled over 100 FinTechs, and our latest season is shining a spotlight on those breaking down digital barriers and transforming lives for the better. Join us in this financial inclusivity revolution, presented with generous support from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Follow hashtag 40 Days 40 FinTechs, hashtag Level 1 Project to learn more and get involved in creating a brighter financial future for all.
The 4 Days for FinTechs initiative continues to shine a spotlight on innovators that are using financial technology to serve the unserved and underserved people in Uganda and across Africa. On day 25 of the annual 4 Days for FinTechs initiative, Season 5, we are happy to have a representative from MobiPay. Please, greetings. Kindly introduce yourself.
Greetings. My name is Eric Nana Kwabena Agyei. I am the founder of MobiPay and Agrosys Limited.
Okay. For those that are watching you and listening to you for the very first time, please break it down for them. What is MobiPay and what do you do?
MobiPay Agrosys Limited is an Agri-FinTech. Basically, we provide technological services to the farming communities. And part of our main work is to ensure that farmers can have access to services, digital services, at the same time having access to receiving payments for the products that they sell, and then also paying for inputs that they request digitally. So basically that is what MobiPay does. We were established in 2016 and went into the market in 2017. And we have the MobiPay platform. That is where we get the name MobiPay from. And then the Agrosys is the Agri-Tech platform, which are both integrated to offer payment to farmers in the last mile.
All right. So someone might want to know what inspired you to start MobiPay. What is the story behind MobiPay?
Well, in 2015, myself and my co-founder embarked on a little study where we wanted to find out that if a financial institution will be willing to lend to smallholder farmers. But when we did this study, we found out that smallholder farmers had a major risk, that you didn't have data on their production, did not have data what they have been doing. When you go to a farmer will say, oh, I'm a farmer. And you ask, do you remember what you did last season? The farmer will say, I think I did A, B, C, D. So based on that, we noticed that there was a high risk. The financial institution didn't want to lend to the farmers. And even the input, the agriculture insurance companies, as well as the market, were also having it difficult to locate where farmers are. So we find farmers have produce, buyers are looking to buy, input dealers have the input, they want to sell to the farmers. The farmers also need these services, but they can't find them. So there was that mismatch. So therefore, we came up with the idea that if it is that we can use technology to make these people visible to all these service providers, then we believe that we can unlock that risk that is around them. And at the same time, if we can have or facilitate payment, then it can also lead into their financial activities, which will also make it visible for people to be able to see them and lend to them. So that is the main idea, using technology, using digital payment to make farmers visible to service providers, including the financial sector.
Okay, yeah. Now make me understand. For the time you have been in business, how many farmers have you served? How many happy farmers are you operating with currently?
Currently, we are operating with a little below 400,000 farmers across the entire country in various value chains. In terms of happy farmers, we're still trying our best to push it up. Currently, we are about 25% of the 400,000 farmers who are accessing the platform. And again, we are also trying as much as possible to educate them on the digital tools. You know, these platforms are on digital tools. And when you look at connectivity, you look at the access to the smartphones and even access to the phones itself, is also a little bit of a challenge. And therefore, as those services and devices grow, the usage of the platform also grows. So therefore, that is what we are in at the moment. But we are working across 86 districts in Uganda. And we have offices in the east as well as the north, with our head office in Kampala. And that is the number of farmers we've reached, with also about 242 agents that we are working with.
Okay. So you have said you have offices in eastern and northern Uganda. Let us assume I'm a farmer from Soroti district. Take me through step by step. How do I get started on MobiPay? Where do I find it? How do I use it?
Well, so ideally we work through the cooperatives as well as farmer groups. So most of the farmers that we are working with belongs to these cooperatives. And in the agriculture sector also we have development partners that are working with the cooperatives. So some of the development partners like USAID, like the WFP, Hunger Fighters, all these works with farmer groups. So normally we do look out for call for proposals in working delivering agri-tech services to farmers. So some of these farmers come through that. But if it is that a farmer does not belong to any of these, can look out for us. We are on the website, we are on Facebook, we are on WhatsApp, we are our websites are all there that enable farmers. But then we also have our business development team together with our field officers and our agent who also look out for farmers. So they'll be looking out for you as a farmer. This is a service that we have. These are the products that we have that you can also join. But I may say that 90% of our farmers have come through cooperatives. And currently, we are beginning to get farmers looking out for us. So, their cooperatives, they reach out to us and then we provide the services to them. But however, a farmer group or a cooperative can approach our office in Mbale in the east, and then we'll be able to match them with the agent that is in close proximity to them, and then the onboarding process can take over, and then as well as the training for them to come on board.
Right, I'm getting a little confused and I want you to break it down for me further. So, what services are you giving these farmers?
Well, aside the digital services that is being given, we are giving them services in training.
So,
Where
maybe let us first speak about the digital services.
okay,
What digital services are you giving the farmers?
so the digital services on the digital services you have the access to the inputs. So we have input service providers who are mapped onto the platform, and then we market their products on the platform. So a farmer, even with a button phone, can access the platform, dial in, but you should have been registered on the platform. Then you dial in, you have access to the input dealers within your area, you have access to their products, you can place their requests. The input dealer will now respond to your request and then facilitate the distribution of the product to you. And then that is when now the payment come in. You also use your mobile phone to do the payment to the service provider. Now, again, another service is the marketplace, the market match. So a farmer can go onto the platform, put their product on the platform, saying that I have maybe 2 tons of maize. It is this quantity, it is located here, and then put it on the platform. So once they put it on the platform, it's also broadcasted to all the markets, the people who are off taking. And then they can also now respond. So with that, they'll be able to know that if within this village there's this number of farmers with this quantity of maize that is there. Again, the off-taker can apply for it, purchase it, and then pay the farmer digitally using their mobile phone. So these are some of the services that are on the platform. The farmer can also access trainings. We'd go to the farm and find a problem with the plant, can easily broadcast it on the platform, and then a service provider who is in that particular field of providing agronomy will now revert to the farmer and be able to support them in the finding solution to the problem that they've discovered onto the farm
Sure.
from the farm. Yeah.
That is quite impressive, and maybe that's why I was asking. So, as an individual farmer, how do I get started? I have understood the element of cooperatives and farmers groups, but there is an element of inputs, there is an element, a marketplace of sorts. So, let us assume again, I'm a farmer in Budadiri, Sirongo district, and I know you have an office in Mbale. So, how do I get started? How do I access the platform? How am I able to upload my harvest and then get it bought?
So the platform, these farmers can access them through the mobile app. We also have a USSD where the farmer can access it. So initially, because we need to profile the farmer, an agent need to come in. However, you can do the initial registration where the farmer can dial the code and start the registration process. So when that comes into the system, the back end, the business development team are able to match the farmer to an agent. Then an agent comes to the farmer and then now embark on the comprehensive profiling. speaking the land size, the value chain, all the activities that the farmer is doing. Now, when that is done and it's uploaded onto the platform, the system now gives the farmer access to the platform and the product and services. So from that point, the agent will train the farmer. That is when now the farmer can now access all these activities that is on the platform. So it starts with the initial registration, just like a request to be onboarded. So when you request to be onboarded, then the system matches you to the agent who is in close proximity to you, who will now fully onboard you for you to access the services on the platform.
Okay. Now let us assume I'm a farmer in a Moro district in northern Uganda. I've gone through all that process. I initiated the request to be onboarded. The agent reached out. I got onboarded, and now I'm an active member of MobiPay. So I harvested mangoes. Mangoes are very popular in northern Uganda, and I'm selling them. So how does the transaction happen? At what point do I get my payment, and how do I get paid?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think when you look at the that value chain that you've mentioned, the mango value chain, we're very, very strong in that value chain. So at this point, what the farmer does is that the farmer has two options: either to use the agent or to be able to do it themselves. So in case that they want to do it themselves, also they can use the app, which now allows them to take pictures of the commodity, the quantities, and put it on the platform. That is what I mentioned about the market match. Or they can also use the USSD where you can't put pictures, but it's only words. So they go onto the platform, select the market match, because remember, we've already profiled them. So we know all the demographics where they are. And then they put the quantities. Say maybe I have 1 ton of mango, and this is the price that I'm looking at, and then broadcast it on the platform. So immediately it broadcasts it on the platform, the system sent SMS to the farmer. We have received this, and we are working on matching you with a potential buyer. And then it goes on to the buyers. So the buyers now look at this and then can now reach out also and say, yes, you have it. We want to come this day and off-take it there. So when the off-taker goes in and off-takes it, that is when now they have the option now to pay using mobile money. Because when we are doing the profiling, we picked your mobile money number and then requested you that should any payment happen, then it can go through your through this mobile money. We are integrated with Equity Bank, and therefore the farmers can also receive. They have account with Equity Bank. They can receive money in their bank account from Equity Bank. So that is how the process also goes in. But the second option also is that the market can also broadcast requesting for the commodity and say we need this commodity and it's on the plan. So it goes to all the farmers who are in that particular commodity area to tell them that we need this and we need it at this date. So it is a two-way.
Nice.
Yes.
So minus the connection, I want to understand this much better. What role does MobiPay play in terms of managing the payment? Why I'm asking this is I want to know who guarantees that the farmer receives their money and me, the buyer, I receive the actual product I paid for.
So in terms of assuring the payment and facilitating the payment is the duty of MobiPay. So before a buyer will go onto the platform and able to pay digitally, you need to set up a floating account on our platform. So therefore, we go through the process and then we set it up, and then you have to float that account. So if there's no float in it, then you will not be able to purchase.
So the money is first held by MobiPay.
Yes, the money is first held by MobiPay with our wallet with MTN and Airtel or the bank. So it's in that escrow account where now you have access to it. So you put money on that account and then you spend it. So if there's no money on that account, then you cannot purchase because the system will even tell you you don't have money to be able to purchase in this particular. So that is where now we guarantee. But in terms of the commodity itself, our agent also come in. There's a verification, there's a quality assurance that is done before it is pushed over there. Because at the end of the day, we also don't want to have somebody selling air to our buyer on the platform. So therefore, we guarantee both sides where we guarantee that the money is there to be able to purchase, and then our agents are also verifying that your commodity is also in there. So even when you broadcast, our agent who is in charge of that particular area also need to verify before it's now approved for the transaction to take place.
All right, we are moving very well. I've understood the registration using Eastern Uganda example, the selling of products using Northern Uganda. Now let us talk more about inputs. Let us assume I'm a pineapple farmer in Central Uganda, Rural District, and I want some inputs for my pineapple garden. How do I access them? How do I pay for them? Who guarantees that I get the right inputs?
Similarly, how the market works, Similarly, it's how the input side also works. So what we do over there as MobiPay, we also come in to guarantee and facilitate the transactions. In terms of the input, we do have contracts with the input suppliers. We vet them, ensuring that they meet the regulatory requirements as well as the product is vetted by the standard board. Then that's when now we put it on our platform. And remember, we have an agent who is in all this. So one, the agent can be used as a distribution channel where if the farmers are far off, then the agent can bulk and supply them. But good enough as MobiPay, we normally work with the input manufacturers. So we have like Yara fertilizer, we have Roscan also on board. So these are manufacturers of the fertilizer themselves. So we are assured of the quality. Now, quality and then the certification, because that is very, very critical. We don't want a situation where somebody says, I'm doing organic fertilizer, and then now we're having chemical induced fertilizer on the market. So, when all this has been done by us, and then again, the input supplier must also have a collection account on the platform, which is domiciled with the MNOs and then the bank. So that is where the money will be received. So at the end of the day, if the money is received and then the supply is not made, the system will not allow you to liquidate that money. So that is how the process is done. But the agent again verifies if the farmer that has put in the request is the actual farmer and if it has gone to the actual input supplier who is supposed to come in. So when the farmer places the request, the input supplier comes in, verifies it, and can respond that I can supply this. And then we now go into the arrangement of facilitating the distribution as well as the payment. We see some farmers, they come together in bulk, and therefore they get the suppliers to bring in, and then when the supply goes in and the agent verifies that this has come in, then the payment can also take place. So basically, that is how we sit in, ensuring that there's fair play between each of the bodies that are on the platform.
Well done, well done. As we move on, with your experience in the market and the thousands of customers you are serving, both here as farmers, input providers, and manufacturers, among others, for the time you have been existing, what key challenges have you faced in your digitization and financial inclusion project?
Well, I think I will look at it from three key areas.
Yes.
First of all, is the infrastructure. I may say that, yeah, since 2016 to date, there has been an improvement in infrastructure, but it's still a problem. Sometimes you get to locations where the network is not there, and you have a farmer who has a phone and still want to have these services but cannot access it. Again, I think the cost of digital payments naturally in Uganda is high. And when you look at the area where we are serving, having a farmer to pay for input, let's say 50,000, and then paying it digitally, and the farmer is supposed to pay a service fee of almost about, let's say some percentage. If you look at it, it's almost about 1.5% of the principal when it's going through collection. Then it becomes a challenge because these are low-earning people in the summer on 1 acre, 2 acres, half an acre, they are even working, but they need the services. But when the payment comes in, then it becomes a problem. So you find that they try as much as possible to do this digitally, but when it gets to the payment side, they want to move it off the platform. That is why we've introduced the agents come in. And at a certain point, we have to go with cash because the person needs the service, and you can't say because of digital, I cannot also do this. And then also KYC. You find that we need to have bank accounts for these farmers. We need to have a mobile money account for this, but some of them do not have the national IDs. Yeah, so that is what also becomes a problem. Now we are leaving a lot out of the digital space and the digital payment space because of KYC. And then I think the last one is education, which we have been trying as much as possible, trying to bridge the rural urban digital divide is still a big challenge. People have the phones, but they use them for only call box. You find somebody with a very big, nice a smartphone, but it's only using it to receive calls, make calls, and receive SMSs, but they can't actually use their phone. So it's part of the areas which we are trying to solve with support from the development partners, trying to bridge that gap and letting people to know how to use their phone to access these services. So these are the key challenges. Obviously, taxations and other regulatory requirements also makes it a bit difficult working in the last mile and the rural communities.
All right, with all those challenges in mind, How then do you see the 4 Days for FinTech's initiative supporting what you do, and what else do you think needs to be done to one, make sure you achieve what exactly you set out to do, but importantly, to achieve financial inclusion for a country like Uganda?
Well, I think when you look at the financial inclusion agenda for the country, is very, very well laid out. And I believe that with the 40 days fintech issue, I think for us as MobiPay, we would want to advocate more for special, I wouldn't say special, but maybe an incentive, especially from the part of the cost of digital payment to rural communities. I believe that we could, in the urban areas, we understand, you know the benefit of paying DSTV through mobile money. You know the benefit of paying URA taxes through mobile money. Because for me, for instance, now I don't even go to the bank. I use mobile money to pay all my taxes. But the person down there still does not understand why I'm paying for a service and there's need for them to charge me. Therefore, we believe that UCC, the central bank, the regulatory authority should be able to come up with certain modalities that will help in bringing this majority of people who are below the pyramid to be able to come into the digital space. And I believe that if that is done, it will even go as far as to strengthen our money, because there will be a lot of digital payments rather than relying on the physical cash. So for me, I will advocate that we need to look at laws and policies that favor digital transactions and digital system usage within the rural communities of Uganda.
All right, Eric, thank you so much for that detailed explanation of what MobiPay is doing and how you are doing it. It's great to hear that you are impacting the last mile, people at the bottom of the pyramid. Now, in 2 minutes, please face your camera and present a case as to why all farmers and agriculture dealers should opt to work with you, not the competition.
Thank you. Yes, as MobiPay Agrosys Limited, our key objective has been to provide a business that has a social impact angle to it. Therefore, we are requesting farmers and especially players in the agriculture sector to join the innovative ideas and innovative products that we've put onto the market. Now, with this, we are making farmers financially visible, which we believe that the data that comes out and the information that is coming out from the platform can be used by the farmers themselves to be able to understand their farming, their product, their services, and then also use their data to do farming as a business. To other service providers, we are creating a huge database and information data sets that will enable you to develop product and services that target this group and be able to serve them properly. We believe that when you rely on the data and you use the data, you will be able to augment your market niche, serve the people properly. And we believe that since Uganda's economy is primarily driven by agriculture, using data in the agriculture sector will also help us to, as a country, to build up on the GDP of the country. So therefore, I invite all of you to join us to bring the farmers on board, the extension service providers, the input service provider market, and let us work together to ensure that the country gains from the agriculture and the fertile lands that the country has.
Thank you so much. Like you have heard from Eric, MobiPay is using fintech to change the fortunes of Uganda's farmers. This has been day 25 of the annual 4 Days for Fintech's Initiative Season 5. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.